Perhaps no evergreen is more emblematic of this time of year than the legendary Christmas tree. It's no wonder that about 7 million of these trees are sold each year here in the UK. And growing Christmas trees is a wild business, one that depends entirely on a very, very short sales window. So next we're travelling to Frenchay Christmas Tree Farm to hear from owner Simon Morn about life on the farm at this time of year and the secrets behind doing this sustainably.
I've got thin ones, I've got fat ones, I've got short ones, I've got tall ones, I've got sparse ones, thick ones, weird ones, perfect ones. And everyone seems to find a home because everybody takes a different view on what the perfect Christmas tree is. There's been a lot of argument about what's best, a real tree or an artificial tree. And I think anyone who gardens or grows things for a living will be able to say it's a no-brainer, obviously, which is better, a living product that's entirely biodegradable or something that comes from a factory thousands of miles away made of completely artificial or synthetic materials. My name is Simon Morn and I am a Christmas tree grower. My company is called Frenchay Christmas Tree Farm, just north of the city of Bristol. I planted my first Christmas trees while I was still at university, or more accurately my father did, and I was studying plant science at the time at university, or botany, and it piqued my interest. So when I came home to see what he'd done, I immediately spotted the first mistake, and he planted them all about 20 centimetres apart. But the seeds of an idea were already in my mind. In 1998, I think it was, we visited a Christmas tree farm in Marden in Devon, and I guess we saw what we could potentially achieve. So we bought a few Christmas trees off the bloke there called Hans and started selling a few trees literally from the back of a lorry. We got a tiny bit of bemused interest from passers-by, but we didn't sell many of our trees. But the next year we did it again, and now I am selling between 2,500 to 3,000 trees per year. One of the first things I considered quite seriously when I went to the Christmas tree farm in Malden was I didn't want to grow trees their way, and their way was the way most Christmas tree farmers grow trees, and that is scorched earth policy. You plant trees in the ground and you don't let anything else grow around the trees. So it's basically bare earth and Christmas trees. And I said, I'm not going to grow Christmas trees that way. I'm going to let whatever will grow underneath a Christmas tree grow, because from university I knew that bare soil is a bit of an environmental disaster because you get soil runoff, you get erosion, you get nutrient leaching, and I just seemed the wrong way to go about doing it. So in the summer we've got all this sort of long grass and flowering between the trees, which are vary in height between 1 foot tall up to about 20 foot tall. It's a real mix of sizes and shapes. So in the summer it's actually a really lovely place to be. It's like a sort of cross between a forest and a meadow. And as a result we are bringing in wildlife that may not have been present before. So we get woodcock, for example, in the plantation. We get birds of prey that will hunt among the trees, owls, bats, and as the seasons turn it begins to change. You get all the spiders coming out in September in the autumn, and they spin their webs between the trees, and I have to go through and prune all the trees, and I'm always getting spider webs in my face. I don't really like spiders, but I've learned to live with them. It's hard to imagine the sort of chaos that's going to be coming once the autumn is close to an end and you realise that your lovely sort of solitude is about to be broken. We started by planting the classic Norwegian spruce, which is Picea abies. They just need a sort of slightly acidic soil that's fairly moisture retentive. And so we put in 6,000 Norwegian spruce, and then from talking to other Christmas tree growers, we began to diversify. So we started to grow the Nordmann fir, which is the Abies nordmanniana, which is the classic non-drop tree that most people seem to want these days. And then we started to buy in some Abies fraseri, which is the Fraser fir trees. They're quite a narrow tree with sort of silvery foliage that's retained well on the tree. They grow pretty rapidly. I mean, they take about 6 years to harvest as opposed to 8 years. They shape well and they just look really nice. So we planted about 8,000 of those, and then Nordman fir, and then we gave some blue spruce a go. Potato Omarica was another one we tried, Serbian spruce, and we still grow all of those. We tried growing the Korean fir. That wasn't so successful, didn't really like our site very much. Although the Korean fir is makes a beautiful Christmas tree if you ever get a chance to grow one for yourself. But we just keep trying different things and seeing what the customers like and what grows well. There's an element of bonsai, I suppose, to growing a Christmas tree, because you don't want it to run away and make a forest tree. You want to keep it small and clipped like a bush. Norwegian spruce are the simplest. You can just take a pair of shears to a spruce and just give it a gentle clip all the way around. Or, if you're feeling brave, you can get a pruning blade, which is a bit like a sword, very sharp sword, and you can just swing it around the tree, trying not to remove the fingers of your left hand as you do so. I never felt brave enough, so I've got a few pairs of nice quality shears, and I spend a few days going around the entire field. And you can prune all the spruce that way, so you just need a pair of shears. Firs tend to be pruned with a pair of secateurs, so it's a bit more of a time-consuming job, and we will fork prune those, so any gardener will be probably familiar with fork pruning and you basically removing the centre shoot. If you're really, really organised, you can do bud rubbing, and you can rub off the shoots before they even started to grow. But that requires a little bit of organisation. I get a huge satisfaction out of growing the perfect tree, what I would consider the perfect tree. You know, that's not too wide, a nice sort of church spire shape, reasonably full, and every year I like to think I'm getting a little bit better at doing it. We've just come through our busy season because people will start visiting the farm from about the third weekend of November, and it's carnage really. I mean, a lot of the trees have been cut down, there's branches everywhere, bits of stumps and logs, and there's still loads of trees growing because of course I've got to have a sustainable harvest. I've got like about 8 years worth of trees, all at different stages. We've just taken out maybe an eighth of the entire field. This year I probably employed 15, 16 people. And then over the weeks, because we're all working so hard, there's quite a camaraderie that builds up. And then suddenly all the work comes to an end and everyone goes, oh, it's all over. And we all feel a bit sad about that because we've all built up a bit of a relationship. So one evening we all go down the pub and sort of say our farewells for another year. I've been at it for 24 years now, or maybe even 25, and I am still learning. And I love getting caught up in that excitement with my customers. You begin to see everybody's Christmas trees up in their windows and you know you've done something right.